And it's a good day at Future Media TV. And today we have a special show, Tools, Tips, and Teamwork with Ted Liman. And Marion is traveling today in a foreign country all the way near Dallas, Texas. So Marion, my wonderful co-host. So Ted, how are you today?
Fantastic, thank you. It's a great day. It's only Tuesday, but I always tell people, I don't want to wait until I get a cancer and then go through the procedures and everything else, got healed, and then say, I'm thankful that I'm having a great day. I don't want to wait until that moment. I just right now, at this moment right here, I just want to be thankful. My wife is healthy. My 2 children are healthy, and me too. And my companies are doing great. So, something to be thankful for.
What about you, Marion, all the way up north?
I've got all the doors open. I've got a beautiful chocolate lab sitting here by my feet. And the weather's perfect. Even though we had some technical difficulties this morning, I'm as happy as a person can possibly get. As you can see, I'm still smiling.
That's fantastic. I love it.
That's great.
I know. Because one of the things that keeps coming up, as you know, the universe talks to us all. And it keeps reminding me that it doesn't matter what's happening around us. We can still remain aware that it all works out in the end. It's all okay. And here's something that my friend taught me. She was a nun for 26 years. And she got out of the nunnery and has decided to live amongst the rest of us. And she told me, Marion,
she'll have none of that.
She said, Marion, when you're feeling down or things aren't going right in your business, she said, just think about this. How are you going to feel a week from now? And then how are you going to feel a month from now? And then how are you going to feel about this a year from now? 5 years from now? Will you even remember this happened? So don't worry about it. Just pretend it's a year from now and don't worry about it.
That's great advice. I love that. And it's all about behavior, Ted. And some of the things that we're talking about today is how the wealthy behave at work.
Yeah.
And I think it's different, when you have a positive attitude and you have a focused agenda and you know what you want, and even the bumps in the road and you go off in the ditch sometimes and things don't happen the way we exactly think it should. Successful people behave differently.
Yeah.
Bingo.
The positive outlook on life makes all the difference in the world to me. So let's talk a little bit about this show and how do you define that statement, how the wealthy behave at work?
Well, this thing here actually is from my personal experience. When I was younger, I should say, just looking from the outside the buildings, the tall buildings of downtown, you see these executives driving great cars, and wherever they walk, it seems like they walk on a red carpet. They have a big office with oversized overhead projector and a couple of couches, and they rarely come into the office. They come into the office whenever they please. They leave whenever they please. They're always on the golf course all the time. You see, so and that's actually what people see in the behavior of wealthy people. I mean, is that the question is today in this show is that really it? I mean, is that what the wealthy is? You basically just go out there and it sounds to me that's more like spending money instead of keeping the wealth. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that's a perception that the outside world has of people that are wealthy. The Playboy lifestyle, the rich and famous kind of thing. And I don't think the true wealthy live that way. I don't imagine. I think they're working hard. I think, people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and, all of the billionaires that we know, Elon Musk, these people are working hard. I mean, they have an incredible work ethic. What do you
know why? Because they're having fun. They're doing what they want to do. They're creating their wealth due to their passion and moving forward every single day. They don't want to slow down because they're having fun.
Right, right, exactly. That's exactly my point. Until I get into the middle of all these people right here. I mean, by the way, just to give an introduction, I am in oil and gas industry. I have managed projects all over the world, more than $1.5 billion worth, and I have some experiences with the wealthy. I mean, I've been with them side by side. I've been in their cars. I've been in their houses, their mansions, their yacht, and their airplanes. I've been there with them, and something that I realized is that, to me, after I realized all that, I felt like all these perks are only kind of like a fishing bait kind of thing. I mean, truth be told, yeah, truth be told, when I was working in the corporate offices, I mean, I get all those luxury. I get this, I get that, and when you are in downtown, I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of those employees, they park in different parking place. Somewhere affordable, somewhere where they only charge about like $10 a day or $50 a day, and if you want to pay $4 a day, you can, but that's like blocks away from your building. Part of the perks that I was there, I parked in the building where I was conducting my business, and got great offices, got great assistants, got this, got that, and really, we don't have time to really enjoy all that. We were focusing in our work. We don't have time to actually turn on our DVD player and watch movies. We don't have time to really just go, you know what, let's brush up that golf club. Let's go out there. Let's just play all day long. I mean, we got those liberties, we got those freedoms for us to do all those things, all those luxurious things, but really we don't get a chance.
No.
And what people don't know is they think the wealthy, I mean, they see it on the movies only. Like, they don't do anything, wake up in the morning, go have a long breakfast, and then after that, just go to the office for a couple of hours and come back home again and just play in the swimming pool all day long. That's not the reality.
Well, I think a lot of corporations, they have these perks, they have these advantages, they have these elements in their business, and part of that is the promotional benefits. I've been on yachts before where, it's an event where they're bringing people together for a fundraiser for another cause. Marion, you've done public relations for years, and the elements of putting an event together. You can rent a yacht, and usually owned by a corporation someplace, or somewhere, or a building, or an event center or something like that. You have access. Everybody has access to these things, and they probably don't even realize that they can do this. And when you start thinking outside the box, and you start thinking like the wealthy, like, okay, I can invest this much and get a fundraiser going, and it's going to benefit this many people. And oh, by the way, I'll probably get a tax write-off for this thing, right?
That's right.
Well, you know what's something funny about tax write-off. This is what I tell everybody, that as a business owner, everywhere I go, I don't know what it is, but for some reason they expect me to pay, and and I don't mind paying, but what I think might tick me off is when they say, well, it's a tax write-off, right?
It still costs you money though, right?
Exactly. So what I tell people is this, I'd rather keep my money instead of spending $10 to save $2 of the tax write-off. I'll keep the $8 instead of keeping the $2.
My point is that there are times where a wealthy person doesn't necessarily have a yacht just for the luxury of having a yacht. There's a corporate yacht, there's a corporate jet. They're used for multiple purposes beyond what we can see as an outside person. Was my,
This is an example of what you're talking about. My father was a doctor, and he wanted to travel. He just loved to travel. He traveled with his family, and he just took trips all the time. So he bought a motorhome. but he bought it in the corporation's name and used it as a tax write-off to have events and do things for the company. So he got to enjoy the motorhome and get a tax write-off. So it was, he still had to pay, like Ted said, you know,
Yeah.
but he got some back, you know, from taxes. So it was pretty cool.
As an entrepreneur, we always have to be looking at those types of benefits and those you know, things that afford us. But I want to get back on the track about how people behave, how they think, you know, and you know, you talked about some other, in previous shows, you've talked about, you know, the product management and sales and some of these other benefits of being in business, you know, these activities, you know,
Right.
so, you know, can you elaborate?
Coffee. You need coffee.
I can talk more gooder today, right? Can you expand and elaborate on that, Ted? I mean, some of the ideas that you're thinking about as a business owner.
I can elaboratively on the things that you just asked.
I'm going to use that all week long.
Yeah, I mean, if you hang out with two young children, and they love playing with the words, you know, tongue twister. So they would play this kind of stuff, and they would beat me all the time. My native language is Indonesian, so English is already my second language, and I speak different languages too. So it's what is it? I am bound to have an accent somewhere along the way. So, my children, I mean, a lot of people say they don't have an accent. I mean, in other words, they have American accent. So, which is good. So, going back to what you're asking here, you know, I mean, the wealthy, I mean, they focus on their work. And to me, the wealth actually is the result of their work. I mean, to me, that's the bottom line. And you know, sometimes people get lucky. They get lottery, they win the lottery, or they get inheritance from somewhere, the parents or the uncles, whoever. But those who actually work to earn it, that's exactly what it is. It's the result of their work, and the work ethic of these people here. I mean, they focus on three things. You know, they understand that your work must have product, management, and most importantly, sales. And that refers back to one of our shows in the past.
Right.
You gotta have all those three things. Without all those three things, it cannot happen. Now, the wealthy right here is something that I know. Part of their characters is they know what they have to do. I mean, that's number one. And number two, what I see in the similarities in their lives is that they don't waste time. I've never seen those people, the wealthy, when they behave. I mean, they're on it. When they get an email, they answer right away. They get a text, they answer right away. They get a task, they finish it right away. They don't wait. Let's wait 30 more minutes, or after lunch, or right after I finish this Facebook posting. I mean, they don't wait for all that. I mean, they can be walking from here to the parking lot trying to get into lunch. They would stop, literally stop. Hold on, guys, hold on. And they would answer their email. And just being on top of things is very important. And procrastination is not just like 5 days, 2 weeks, or 1 month. It can be in the hour or in the minutes, the way I see it. And once you forget about doing that kind of stuff, that's it. You'll forget it. And then to me, that can become a habit and eventually becomes a part of your character.
Right.
So
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Ted, let's say we want to become a millionaire. We're not there yet. Yeah. Is this a learned habit? Is this something that we can take on? Can we take a class? Is there something we can do to get ourselves to that point where we're thinking like a millionaire?
Yeah. I want to say that there's always classes out there. There's always classes. You can always find almost anything except the actual ingredient of the secret. To me,
discipline.
Discipline is one of the classes. Discipline is one of the classes. Being clever is one of the classes. being fit is one of the classes, being on top of things. All these classes, I believe like you can find those classes, but there are no classes where Colonel Sanders will say, this is the recipe, or Jeff Bezos will say, this is how I market this, or Facebook say, this is how I speak with the Prime Minister of India. Those classes do not exist. I have searched all those, they do not exist. So these classes, if you ever go to seminar with Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or something like that, they always talk about the surface of the sea. They never go to the heart of the sea. They always talk about those things, right on the top. They'll tell you the great things of how to become a great person, how to become this, and this, but they'll never reveal, here you go, here's the secret of Microsoft. They haven't done that. They don't do that. They'll never do that.
Why?
Otherwise, they're going to have a lot of competition.
Yeah, I see it slightly different, Ted, and correct me if I'm wrong. However, I see it as, I mean, almost an essence of, accumulated experience as part of, who you are. It's the discipline, the work ethic, some of these things come together, and it's almost, an accumulation. It's almost like that secret recipe, Colonel Sanders has. It's almost that combination of efforts that it's really difficult to explain to someone what that little minute detail and change is. I think, though, Marion, to your point, I think there's really an opportunity for people to improve and create habits every single day that result in long-term gains and movement in the future. And it's also focus in a discipline. I think, Ted, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think it's no. Well, I think you and I think we're talking about the same thing, except from different directions. I think the discipline must be there. I mean, if you're not disciplined, you can't succeed. Period. In anything that we do. I mean, we have to be disciplined. Otherwise, we'll try to do something and then that's it. We just stop whenever there is a red tape, right? I mean, that's what I mean by discipline. You have to keep on going at it nonstop. And however, and also same thing with experience. You have to be experienced. You have to be experienced. You have to be disciplined. You have to You have to have the thirst of finding knowledge towards your goal. Now, you can't teach that.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I have hundreds of employees. I have hundreds of employees. Those who are willing to learn, you almost don't have to do anything for them to get going in their career.
They're self-motivated.
Self-motivated. The questions that they ask, I can't get through this. What do I need to do? And with me, I can literally say 2 sentences. That guy will take off the entire project. Now, there are those actually who are actually stuck in doing something. I don't know what to do. And I can speak with those kind of people 5 hours a day, and I'll be talking to them 5 hours a day until the end of their lives. And they won't self-motivate themselves. They won't take off on their own. So that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And something else that I think is a fact that I found out a long time ago that's quite impressive was this one speaker. He spoke to about like 200 people in a room.
Mm-hmm.
After he's done, a couple of people came to him and was like, hey, thank you. Your seminar right here changed my life. And you know what he said? Is that I did not change your life. You changed your own life.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I'm giving you a compliment here. I mean, take it. But the guy's like, no, I did not change you. He said, there are 200 people in this room right here. If my speech really changed people, they all would have been changed. But only a couple of you guys are changed. So you changed you. I did not change you. You see? So to me, I feel the same way. There is a lot of resources in the library, on the e-library today, on the internet, on YouTube, in Blab. Like, Future Media have great shows right here. However, how many people are really changed because of that? And why are they changed?
Right.
Yeah.
Good questions. Great questions. And so it's a burn and a desire from the inside. And I think a wealthy attitude is a wealthy attitude regardless of the amount of money that you have in that particular time. Also,
Yeah.
it's a winning attitude. It's positive. I think it's, there's a book that was published, The Millionaire Next Door. And they talk about people that have money, and the money, I mean, you can, they're driving a, 10-year-old car, and their house may be paid for, and they have money in the bank. They could be a millionaire on, assets and accumulation. Mm-hmm. And that's different than what I think we're talking about here, having a wealthy attitude and having the idea that there's something bigger than ourselves in this world. And we have the opportunity to create and grow that. And just like what you said really resonated, Ted. There's those people that you can explain something to them and they can't figure it out. And those people that you say 2 sentences and they go off and they get it done. Right?
Right.
The cans and the cannots.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And to me, the reason why we want to talk about this, how the wealthy behaves at work, is to actually to shake and awake everybody that's watching from outside. It's not about the cars, it's not about the office, it's not about the golfing in the middle of the day, but really it's about how they really think inside of business. Because you can I mean, the examples of people who are lottery winners, and the professional athletes. I mean, they get money, and the world artists. Talking about like Kanye West, for example. I mean, he is in $35 million debt. I don't know if you guys heard.
No.
Yeah. Like I think sometimes like 6 weeks ago or so. I mean, he even tweeted to Mark Zuckerberg to give him some money or so. I mean, this is Kanye West.
Facebook's giving away some money. Can I have some?
Yeah, exactly. And but see, that's how the wealthy behaves. They don't just throw away money.
Yeah.
You see?
Wow.
Sorry, Kanye. Nobody's going to be sending you any money.
Yeah, exactly. So what is it? So going back to what we're talking about, how do the wealthy behave? I mean, they know how to be productive. They know how to be productive at work, and really the little things that they do, being productive in the smaller things, would lead to bigger things in their lives.
Absolutely.
Okay. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there's a couple that interview millionaires, right? And they always ask them, or very successful people, in other words, and they always ask them at the end of the podcast, if you had to, you had a $500 and they threw you on a planet like Earth and you knew no one, what would you do? And they all say the same thing. They would do the same thing they did before. There is a formula. I think a lot of it has to do with your personality, but it is in the mindset. I know I can do it, so I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm just going to start doing it. I'm going to reach out to people who I know or who I can know. I'm going to do the things that I know that are going to make me successful.
Yeah, and it looks like we lost Ted, Marion.
Isn't it about time anyway? Yeah. It's time. How about that?
Just like to watch get the show going here, so let me get him back in so we can wrap the show up.
All right.
We were so excited, Ted, and then you dropped off.
It seems like there's a timer for
There's a timer on your computer, man. There's a timer on your computer.
That is too funny. Yeah, it seems like there's a timer on me, and this is how the wealthy behaves. Right after 30 minutes, we have a hard stop. We move on.
Bam, get back to work.
Well, we are getting ready to wrap up the show, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. And life is an attitude. You can either have a wealthy attitude or you can have a pauper's attitude. There's so many things that you can actually accomplish regardless of money, right? Yeah. There's so many good things that we can accomplish in the world and share great information. And one of the things that Marion and I are passionate about is helping people understand about the opportunities that are out there.
Right.
So Ted, any last words? You got a busy day, I'm sure. You're going out and running some companies. So,
Sure. If anything at all, I think the bottom line of this session right here is don't aim for the income of your role models, but really aim for their work ethic. And once you follow that work ethic, eventually the income will follow.
Oh, I love that.
yeah.
That's a book right there.
Follow the attitude, not the income.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, with that,
yeah.
With that, any last words, Marion? I know you're on your phone.
I enjoyed today. I think we should have part 2 on the miracle of the millionaire mindset. Thank you.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I agree.
Thank you so much, Ted. And until next week, see everyone.
Bye.
Adios. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.